Hey, greetings to all our supporters. So thankful for you. I've just had a lot of opportunity to rejoice in each one of you recently. And so thank you for the way that you've been helping the ministry here in Montreal and personally for myself and Jessica and our three little people, Nehemiah, Malachi, and Sadie. We all say thank you to you. Um, I wanted to give a brief history of the giving to Initiative 22 because something's going to change again. And for some of you, that might be frustrating because you need to change how you give or where you give to. But I wanted to keep you in the loop as to why this is happening and why we hope this will be almost the last time. So when Jess and I moved from Maine to Montreal, we moved with the intention to work with Christian Direction, and we did for quite some time. And we anticipated that we were going to work with them longer because we thought the church would take more time to start and really take off and be able to be a place where we could issue receipts to people and receive donations and all those types of things. So the intention was to stay with Christian Direction for quite some time, and Christian Direction can receive support from both Canada and the US, so many of you gave to Christian Direction. But there was a time where Initiative 22 was growing at such a pace where I couldn't do both Christian Direction and Initiative 22, and Glenn Smith was so gracious to let me keep receiving support through Christian Direction while I was relieved of many of my responsibilities for a time until we could figure out something different. So many of you continued to give through Christian Direction up to that point. And during that time, we received charity status as a church in Canada, so we could receive support from Canada, but not people from the US. At some point, we transitioned out of Christian Direction a few years ago completely, and we still had that lack of being able to receive support from people in the US and give tax receipts. And so one of our partner churches, Missio Dei in Portland, Maine, was so gracious and has given us lots of support over the past several years. And one of those ways was receiving support. So some of you have been giving to Missio Dei, and that's been getting here, and the team there has been doing a great job. Joey Fassett and April have done incredible at helping get support here. So we're so thankful for that season that they helped us in this. But it was really getting too much for them, and rightfully so, because we were bringing on some new people who were receiving support. And so we started trying to figure out how we were going to do this. And one of the things that became clear to Brian Stegner, the executive pastor here, and myself is that for the future, because of our desire to church plant with many people and hopefully people coming from the US as well and people giving from the US, we realized that we needed to start a US organization where we could be either Initiative 22 or come under the umbrella of another group, but really partner together to be able to receive funds from the US. But that's going to take a little while to do, and Missio Dei really needed to stop immediately as of the end of September. So it's coming up very soon. It's the middle of September right now. And so in the meantime, between now and when we can get this nonprofit charity going in the U.S. for the church planting that's happening here in Montreal, we needed another group to receive support. And the Church of the Good Shepherd, another one of our churches that has been partnering with us for much longer than before we even got here. My wife, Jessica, her family is part of that church, and Pastor Brad Miller is one of my friends. They've graciously offered to handle our finances from the U.S. side. So they've offered to receive support, take that in, and issue tax receipts for all U.S. givers. And so this is going to be a change immediately as of October. The reason why I didn't communicate this sooner was because we were waiting for all of the pieces to fit together, including getting the online giving set up to a place where there were no glitches in the system at all, and everything's just going to be flowing. So thank you so much to CGS for being willing to do this. We really appreciate it. So what I wanted to do is just shoot this video to inform you about the history so that you guys, as our supporters, aren't worrying like, oh, what's going on? Are people rejecting them? Are people getting rid of them? Not at all. It's just that because of the capacity that we're growing at in terms of our need for some financial support for certain people who are coming onto the team, we just needed to switch so that as I had mentioned before, Missio Dei could be freed of this, and we could take on something new in our pursuit of making this an organization. So if you write checks, I did this like old school, put it on a piece of paper. So if you write checks, here is all of the information that you are going to need, and I hope that we can see that. So if you're writing a check, where you're going to send these checks is to Initiative 22 Support, or I-22 Support, Church of the Good Shepherd, 14717 Amstutz Road, Leo, Indiana, 46765. Please make the checks out to CGS or Church of the Good Shepherd if you like writing that many letters. And on the memo line, please write either GF001, that's a code that we use here, so you can think of us as your girlfriend, number one, or you can write on the check Ministry of Dwight and Jessica Bernier. So if you're writing checks, this would be where you would start sending them immediately, and they will be processing them, and they have things in place to be able to send us weekly and monthly updates in terms of who's giving to us and how and all of that. But we also have online givers as well, and so we want to put that information up. It's always interesting trying to figure out how to hold this thing when things shoot backwards. But essentially, online, go to initiative22.org/give, and that will give you all of the instructions that you need. Obviously, this is going to be U.S. donations by credit card or through bank account. Please find the U.S. donations by credit card on that page. Right now, it's pretty clear, but we're going to make it even more clear for U.S. donors as opposed to Canadian donors. Please don't give to Canada Helps because you won't get a receipt that will be applicable to your U.S. taxes. So the U.S. donations by credit card will go through PayPal. There's a donate button on that online page. And as you're donating, again, please include GF001 or Ministry of Dwight and Jessica Bernier. I'm going to include all this information in an email so that you don't have to watch this video and fast forward to the place where I held up the little signs for you. So that's basically it. We're hopefully the only next move that we will make and information you'll need to know about is when we actually become have nonprofit status, which can take up to 2 years. So this is a process that we're just walking through, and again, are so thankful to Church of Good Shepherd for doing this. I'm also going to be doing another video soon about some of the callings that we're sensing here and some of the shift in responsibilities and how you can be praying for us in these as we want to be involved in planting more churches. So thank you again so much for supporting us. Thank you for giving. Thank you for understanding that we need to be flexible and have needed to be flexible, and we wanted to be as clear in communicating these things with you as possible. Sorry for making like a 9-minute video about how to give. I hope it was helpful to you, and I just want to let you know that your gifts really are making a difference here. We're seeing people meet Jesus. We're seeing new city groups starting. We're in the process of planting a few new churches, and so it's really exciting. So thank you so much for giving towards what Jesus is doing and where he has called us to really serve the city. We love you guys a lot, and thanks again.